Yo, what is up, guys? Eliaz here.
And Cole, the co-host of the InspoCast, where we bring future fitness superstars straight to your ear. And before we get into our awesome guests for today, we want to let you know about all of our awesome guests and how you can hear about all of the awesome guests that we've had on here. So tell them where they can find us.
Make sure you guys follow us on TikTok and Instagram. That's inspo._cast. And make sure you guys go check us out on YouTube and Spotify. And we're going to be also expanding to other platforms.
On top of that, also check out InspoCast.com, which is our website. That is going to feature all of our social media links. It has a calendar with every single guest that we've had on there, description, and it will take you straight to the video. But that is all we got for shameless plugs. Without further ado, let's get into our guest for today. On episode 15 of the InspoCast, we had the one and only Willy Zain,
a.k.a. Willy Gaines. Willy Zain is a social media influencer out of Michigan, the United States of America, and he talks a lot about his journey and just overall a lot of inspirational and motivational topics for you guys.
And he actually drove 4.5 hours to come do this podcast, so make sure to go give this one some love. And without further ado, let's get into the episode.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, let's go, baby!
Let's fucking go.
All right, I'm going to turn this back up. Let's go. Now we're live. Episode 15. Yo, we're 15 in on this bad boy. And we have, dude, literally this is the most epic guest we've had to date. Willy Zain, a.k.a. Willy Gaines, in the house today, baby. He literally drove 5 fucking hours literally to come do this from Michigan. This is actually insane. But as we know, the in-persons are so much better than the virtual. So, dude, welcome. Let's go.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. I really am. You know,
sick.
It was worth the drive. You guys said we could have done the online option, but nah, we got to get in person because that's how you're going to get the best content. So here we are.
These two are the fucking boys. Like, they're actually, like, I think long-lost brothers.
That's my twin.
Yeah, we're actually twin brothers. We just got separated at birth.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how it's going down. Okay, I got you. Dude, welcome to the motherfucking podcast, baby. InspoCast, episode 15. Let's get it, baby. Yo, because honestly, like, Willie, I don't know nearly as much about you. Like, and that's just facts. Like, I tried scrolling through some of your content. I've been busy, I'm not gonna lie. But I did get to see a bunch of stuff. But, like, you two actually have, like, a pretty decently long relationship, especially online.
Yeah.
So, even just for me, I want to hear the story, dude.
Bro, I don't even know. Like, my friend, he actually used to send me his TikToks, and he just, like, started watching them. Because my friend, he got in the gym also, like, a few months ago, so he just would send me his stuff. And so I just followed him one day, and ever since then, I kept following him. And funny enough, like, when I was going through the dirty bulk phase, we just call it that, I kind of fell off my, like, progress, and I would watch his shit, and I actually fucking started using his motto, have it on my whiteboard, started doing my whiteboard with my goals on it, started putting pictures on the wall because of this guy. So this guy actually, like, kind of got me back on track with his motto, one day at a time.
Yeah, so did you want me to talk about, like, how I got
Yeah,
that
actually,
motto?
I want to hear how you came about one day at a time, one that.
All right, so one day at a time. Here is how it originated, all right? So I graduated last year, class of 2021. And as you know, graduation parties, there's hella food, right?
Yeah.
Hella good food. And I was eating like crazy for about 2 months or so. Like, I was pretty lean before that time, but I gained 35 pounds in a 2-month time frame. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I knew I had to get back on track. And I was like, look, Will, you're not going to be able to do this in one day. And I was like, oh, one day at a time. And literally from that point forward, I just keep saying it in my head. I have it written up on my wall, and you know, the motto's brought me pretty far, and I can't wait to see how much farther I go with it.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yep. Go ahead.
Operation Get Willie Jack, baby.
Yes,
and
sir.
yeah, that's just underway. My first genuine bulk. I'm excited to do that. We'll see how far we go with that as well. I don't have any specific goals for weight or anything, but
just put on some snaps, some good mass.
Oh yeah,
that's facts. It doesn't have to be a crazy or it doesn't have to be a crazy motto. Just a simple one that makes sense, right? But I think you were talking about it yesterday, weren't you? Like, or maybe even a couple of days ago, how like you were telling me about how like Willie got you back on the train of fitness, like through your dirty bulk. Like, I can't remember the context of that story, but I don't even remember that story. Like, talk about that.
Like,
I don't even know. Like I don't know. Obviously, you were in a dirty bulk and stuff like
usually
that.
you're like what led up to it, and then how I responded to it with that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so pretty much, I had 5 guys today. Shout out. What's my new YouTube video? But no, it's gonna touch back. So me and my training partner Cohen, we had him on episode 8. So if you haven't already checked that out, go check it out.
Episode 8.
And you hear more about like my journey too in personal and like how I help with like my training partner stuff. But basically, we had 5 guys. I had a burger, a lot of fries, and a shake. And then I did a challenge, so I ate that burger in under a minute. I could have done 30 seconds. You know, I'm a big food guy, but that basically led to me rebounding off after you saw my 80-pound weight loss. After that, I rebounded, put on like 25 pounds in a month. And then that was when I started college, and I was like, fuck, bro, no. I can let myself go again. I have the video of me. I'm just like, literally recording myself in the mirror. I got a big belly, and I'm like, damn, I look like shit. So it was like a kind of a struggle because then I would just wear my hoodie in the gym every day until I got confident again. But no, I would see this guy's literally his transformations, and I would see like the things that he implemented to like, you know, go one day at a time. And ever since then, I've just been taking it one day at a time, and you know, it's been going good because, you know, when you take it one day at a time, you're focusing on the journey more than the end destination, and that's what matters.
Because people are always worried about long-term goals, and it's great to have long-term goals, but you need to go after it every single day. Mm-hmm. If you have a long-term goal and you just think it's going to happen or just think it'll happen eventually, it's not. You have to work for it every single day, and it'll eventually lead up to that.
And that's the thing. People on social media, they just think shit happens overnight, and it doesn't. Like, they don't see the journeys that people take. That's why I feel like for us, we've both amassed a pretty good following because we take people through their journeys, and you know, we're genuine people. Like, we genuinely care about people. I know you answer DMs. I answer my DMs. And it's just about, like, being genuine on social media and showing, like, your progress to greatness.
Yeah, and people love to see the journey. That's why when I hear people say, like, stay up until you're down, that's the dumbest thing you could possibly do because you can literally make a living off of showing your journey, like, eventually over time. And if you just lay low the whole time, what do you expect? Like, you're literally just wasting an opportunity. And people love to see the journey. People, if you can have a great physique, like I said in a video a couple days ago, you can have a great physique, but if you're an asshole and you're not supportive, you're not positive, people aren't going to want to follow you. You could be skinny, you could be fat, but if you have a positive message and, you know, you're making progress every single day, people love to see that.
I need to get on fucking TikTok more, bro. I need to see this shit.
I mean, there's a good side to it and a bad side to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of toxicity in that, but it is what it is. That's just social media.
And that's why I kind of like doing social media, too, because I feel like I can spread a positive message through my content. But, damn, I lost my train of thought. My bad. Go ahead.
Willie, I got to hear it because I don't know. And I know the audience maybe doesn't know. There's some people that don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, start from the beginning here. Like, who was Willie before fitness? Why did you get into fitness? And, like, how have things transformed? And also, I mean, we'll talk about social media in the mix. That's been a big part of, like networking for all of us, right? Like none of us would know each other if it wasn't for TikTok, Instagram, all those places. But like start from the very beginning. Who is Sir Willie Gaines?
All right. So, you know, growing up, I was always the fat kid, like always. Like I was chubby from probably like age 9 forward until I decided to start losing weight. I was super into baseball. I was like really like into athletics. I was just fat because I ate a ton. I was like a really active person, even though I was fat. And, then Fortnite came out. Whenever Fortnite came out, I'm not kidding. I gained so much weight because I would play it for 12 plus hours a day, and I was just falling off bad. And 2018, October 2018 came around, and my grandpa was getting sick, and he wasn't doing well, and his health was declining super rapidly. And like we knew he was like towards the end of his life because he was on hospice care. And one day we were over there, and this is the last time that he actually spoke to us because after that he just didn't have the strength to talk. He like signaled me over to his chair, and I walked up, and he literally whispered in my ear, "Fat ass." And
dude, no way.
And like, I was upset. Like I walked away into the bathroom and started crying, and then I just stayed in the bathroom until I stopped and came back out. And I never told anybody for like 2 years. My mom was the first person I told, so I just kind of kept that I just kept that, and it really fueled the fire inside me. And like from that point forward, I just kept pushing myself to be better, and that's when I started losing weight. That's what finally pushed me to do it. Because I was one of those people when I was fat, I just was like, you know, I'm just going to accept this because I'm not going to be able to change. But when he said that, I knew it was going to motivate me, and I just took advantage of the motivation.
No, not to dig deep into that because it might be like something you don't want to talk about. But like, was
fuck it.
Was it more
already here, bro?
Yeah, was it more of like him calling you fat ass, like a love hate thing, like trying to get you maybe back on track, or was it like more of a like he just didn't like you or whatever?
No, he loved me. He did. I know, like, that's why I always say to myself, I know he did it to motivate me. Like,
Yeah.
it had to be something drastic for me to change, and that's what it was.
Yeah, that's funny that you say that because in 2017, oh my bad, I don't mean to keep touching your fucking
good.
thing. So it was actually December of 2016. My best friend, he was a wrestler, and like wrestlers. I mean, by the middle of the season, they're just freaking juicy. If they're good, and he was a really good wrestler. And so I was the chubby kid too. It wasn't that I wasn't athletic. It was literally the same exact scenario you were in. And it was the same scenario of like he was like, bro, you're fucking fat. Like I love you. He didn't say that, but it was like change, And I think a lot of people, they're definitely like very scared to say that to people close to them.
Yeah.
Like I know I have family members that would be like, it'd be very beneficial for their overall health to lose some weight, right? But it's so hard to say that. But like when they do, that can create like the most drastic change in your entire life. So
Yeah.
like you said, it fuels the fire.
Yeah, and I'm grateful that he said that. Like, I'm not sitting back and, like, upset about it. Like, I really do appreciate that he said that to me because I would not have changed. I would still be the same person I was then. I would actually probably be 300 pounds by this point, So I am really glad that he did say that.
Dude. No, and that's sick as fuck. But anyways, okay, so like that was what fueled the fire, right? That's what started it. But then at some point for you, it just like your own personal goals and intuition kind of took over, right?
Yeah.
So when did that start?
Honestly, like when I picked up the 1DAAT scene, like that motto, that's really when I honestly like started becoming consistent because that's when I first started posting content. The first day I posted a video on TikTok was August 11th. And I have that video pinned to my account. And that's when I started social media. I literally started social media because I wanted to like force myself to be consistent because I knew if I had followers that were counting on me to produce, that I would have to produce. Otherwise, I would just feel like I'm failing people. And that it just kept me like accountable, honestly. And so about, 9 months now?
Yeah, dude, it's like almost a year, call it that, right?
Yeah, so.
You've been on the journey for, a while.
Years, yeah. Like the weight loss journey started literally after my grandpa said that to me. So late 2018, but I really started picking up the fitness side of it 9 months ago. So.
Damn. Yeah, and like you said, so it sounds like a lot of your content, damn, I really wish I would have studied up more if I did this. But hey, it's a good opportunity to learn, right?
Yes, exactly.
So is a lot of your content geared around just like your progress and your journey?
I do post like transformation videos, and then I have like kind of like mini series like with no caffeine, which I failed on day 25, on day 25. But like, I just like to do little series and just kind of like push people to try to be better themselves in some aspect. And then the bulking series, the C-Bump Transformation Challenge, I just do stuff like that. And then I post like motivational videos.
Yeah,
just to,
he
like,
also
push people.
posts like workouts, so he's like very educational. He doesn't just do one thing; he does multiple things. So check out his pages.
Yeah, I try to like. That's actually one of the main things. Like, I try to make all of my content different across all platforms. So like, I don't really post regular workouts on TikTok very often. I post them on my Instagram, just like so people are entertained. Because you don't want to push out the same content everywhere because then the people that are like big supporters of yours are just gonna get burnt out really quickly.
That's true.
So
that's one thing I never thought about.
Yeah. No, that's facts. Okay, no, I know you had a question about, because I know he mentioned C-Bomb. I know you have a question about it.
So I've seen that you've done 75 hard, like the C-Bomb Transformation Challenge. So kind of just take us like through those like transformations, whatever, like how that, like your experiences with it.
Yeah, so for me, like I need like a challenge of some sort just to like keep me pushing forward. Otherwise, I know I'll fall off track. So that's why like I'm always constantly doing something. And like the C-Bump Transformation Challenge, I was getting a little bigger again. I was like, look, you just got to do something. So the C-Bump Transformation Challenge I saw was up. It was a $50 entry, 8-week transformation challenge. I was like, look, I just got to go after it. I got to do this. And my end goal was to win. I was dead set on winning. And if I didn't win, oh well, I won with the progress.
Yeah, facts.
So I was happy with that. And then the 75 hard, I did that right after I started. The first time I did it was right after I made the accounts, like my social media accounts. And that's kind of like what really like got my mindset right. Because people would always say the 75 hard challenge is life changing. I'd be bullshit. Like, you're literally capping. There's no way it can be that drastic of a difference. But once you like force yourself to do those things every day, because there is 6 tasks you have to do every day, it's no cheat meals, no alcohol, 2 workouts, 1 has to be outside, read 10 pages of
or it's like read 10 minutes or something. Yeah.
And then drink a gallon of water. And then there was one more thing. I can't remember the specific.
Was it? No.
Is it about sleep? I can't remember.
No, it's not sleep.
Journal, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, progress picture.
Oh,
Progress
yeah.
picture,
it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And when I did that every single day, like I just realized I didn't really have time to waste, and it just changed my mindset and like made me want to like go after it and just get stuff done. So I like challenges just because they push me to be better.
Yo, talk about like those are the pros of it. Like, what were the dark moments that you had in those challenges? Because like you said, I mean, it's simple, but being that consistent is not that easy, right? So start with the C-Bum challenge. Like, walk us through that 8 weeks.
Yeah, so with the C-Bum Transformation Challenge, like initially the first 2 weeks, I was like, I'm not going to win. Like, I just was not like staying as consistent as I wanted to. And I was like, look, come on, man. Like, you literally paid money to do this. You said you were going to win. You got to prove your fans right. And I was trying to. And like the first 2 weeks, like I said, were the hardest part. But after that, I kind of just got like that. Something clicked again with my mindset. And those last 6 weeks went by really nice. And that's where I saw the most progress. The first 2 weeks, it was just hard because I had to, like, push myself to go after it, you know, because you got to do a lot every single day. And it's just, like, when you're doing repetitive tasks every single day, sometimes you get burnt out and sometimes you just don't want to do it. But those are the days you just got to push through. And that's what I learned throughout the challenge.
And was it a similar situation with the 75 hard then?
Yeah, with the 75 hard challenge, that sucked. Like, I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, all the way up until, like, day 15-ish, that's when I kind of just got used to it and was like, look, you're already this deep in, why not keep going? And so, yeah, like that's just, I really do like challenges just because they push me.
And that's one thing that people do. They can't commit to something long enough. They just, like, they expect results overnight and then they just give up because they're not seeing the results they want in the time span that they want. But, like, this shit takes time. Like, it doesn't just happen overnight.
Facts.
Big fact. So, going back to the transformation challenges, like you talked about it a little bit, what did you learn about yourself during those experiences?
Like
maybe like physically, emotionally, whatever.
Well, one thing I learned is that because when I would work out, I didn't really focus on intensity, and I realized that I need to focus on intensity because that's how you grow. So that was one thing I noticed. It's just that's how I made progress way quicker, was focusing on intensity, like progressive overload. That's something I never really focused on. I was just a do 3 sets of 12 and call it a day type of guy. But now I just try to work on progressive overload. And then just like my discipline became a lot greater because of it, because of those challenges. So those are like my 2 biggest successes from those challenges.
Yeah, intensity is king. Like key. I mean, like people think they can just do 4 sets of 12 or whatever and progress. Like you can't progress unless you're actually getting stronger at the movements. I lost my train of thought, but
that's facts.
also if you want to like really work on progressive overload, I highly recommend using a notebook and like tracking your progress from each week, because then you'll know for a fact that you're making improvements instead of just like off the top of the head. Because you'd be like, say you did 135 on bench week 1, and then you go to 140 on week 2, and then you forgot how much you did on week 2, so you go back to 135. You don't want to fall back. You want to keep moving forward. So I highly recommend a notebook. Right there.
Notebook, bitch.
Go.
Fucking use them. I agree with that 1,000%. I've gone through 5 of those now.
Holy fuck.
Dude, it helps so much. Okay, granted, I'm 23, so like I'm a lot older, so I've had a lot more time to train. Yeah, I highly agree. Yo, I'm curious about what your like training style is, so to speak, because we actually had some questions before. It was like, talk a little bit more about like workouts and like workout styles and like how you structure your programs. Talk about first like how you started, because everybody, like when you first start, like you suck, you know, but then how did things transform, and like kind of what's your like model for training? Because obviously progressive overload, I know you'll have a question, I know, about supersets, but just talk about like that progression for you.
Yeah, so day 1 when I stepped into the gym, right, I got no clue what to do, just as many people do. So if you're watching this and you're new to the gym, just know you're not alone with this. You walk in and you have absolutely no clue what you're supposed to do. The first time I walked in, I did seated cable rows, barbell curls, leg extensions, and hamstring curls, and that was it. And I did 1 set in all of them just for as many reps as I could, which, I mean, that I got to give myself a hand for that. At least I did it to as many reps as I could.
I call that the Planet Fitness special. Like, you go to every single piece of equipment and do your workout.
Yeah, that's what I did. And then I got introduced to a push-pull leg split, which that's what I used for a long time, which is a great split as well. I highly recommend that. If you're new to the gym, it's a great split to get into. And that's what I used up until Operation Get Willie Jacked.
What do you use now?
And now, because I have a coach for the thing, his name is Brandon, and he owns Concrete Strong. I don't know if you ever seen me wearing that stuff.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yep. But so what he set up for me was day 1 is chest and triceps. Day 2 is back, biceps, and shoulders. Day 3 is legs. And then day 4 is chest and triceps. Day 5 is back, biceps, and shoulders. And then day 6 is legs and chest. Just because I'm trying to improve my chest because that's like a lacking point in my opinion. So I'm just trying to add a little bit there.
Yeah, I definitely need to try some different stuff. I've been still running a push-pull leg basically since I started, but have you ever listened to the Real Bodybuilding podcast?
I have not.
I literally mention it every fucking podcast.
Literally every
it's so
podcast.
educational. Definitely listen to
Go watch it, dude. We should just partner up with them. Hey, we need to be on.
That'd be so dope for what it be on. No, but he says like if what's working for you is like working and you're making consistent gains, there's no reason to change it.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone is different. You know, everyone has different exercises that may work for them or different splits just depending on what you're doing. Just everyone's different.
All right, so going into that question about supersets, like I watched your shit for a long time, and I know you use a lot of supersets. So,
I do.
Yeah, so like what do you think are the benefits of supersets, and like do you think, I mean, let's just answer that first question.
What are the benefits of supersets? For me, I just know that I'm growing from them because of the intensity that I'm doing. Because it's usually for supersets for me, it's the same muscle group that I'm doing for both exercises. So I can, like for example, on my chest or my back, biceps, and shoulders day, I do a superset of cable lateral raises and then DB lateral raises, and my shoulders are literally burning every single time I do that, and I can feel the progress, and I know that I'm going to make progress through that. It just helps with.
I've been seeing the gains. This dude's back's insane right now.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, bro.
I appreciate that.
Actually, you got a question. So me and you are two short kings. So do you think short? I told you I was gonna ask you. Do you think short people have an advantage? Not an advantage, like obviously you got to put in work, but like an advantage in building your frame faster. I know I saw you made a TikTok about that too.
I would say, look, like in short terms, yes, like we'll make progress faster. We'll fill out quicker. But long term, the taller people got more real estate to work with. It'll take more years for them to get to where they want to be. But once they're there, they're going to be looking crazy.
That's true.
So if you're tall out there and you're insecure about being skinny, just know that one day you're going to be an absolute monster. You just got to stay consistent.
Just keep fucking eating.
Bro, that's what I'm telling Colin right now because he thinks he's small. And I'm like, bro, you're 6'2". Like, he looks good, but like I'm like, you're 6'2". You're going to take longer to fill your frame, but when you do, you're going to look like a sebum or some shit. Specimen.
For real.
You have to eat so many more calories as a taller person. Like, my maintenance is like 3,200 calories. Like, that's like your bulk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
So like 4,000 is like or like 3,800 is like a bulk, which is, that's just an astronomical amount of calories. So yeah, it is a lot more difficult to gain size as a taller individual. But like you said, you do have more real estate. So it definitely pays off long run for sure. One thing that Colton touched on in episode 8, go check out episode 8, was intensifiers. Okay. So, I mean, we consider intensifiers like supersets, drop sets, like, you name it. Right. And obviously I know you have a specialized program now, but those are kind of like the differentiating factors. So like, which ones do you use and believe in?
Well, I use supersets and drop sets, but I don't use any other intensifiers because I guess I don't know any other ones, but I utilize the drop set like on leg extensions and then leg curls as well. Just because of my legs, I'm trying to improve as well.
Steal my leg routine.
I'm going to have to.
Bro, you might, bro.
You got some tree trunks.
I do got some tree trunks. I'm actually going to upload a raw leg day just so I can like show people how I train. But for me, I want to answer that too. For me, I do mainly like drop sets and super. I don't really do supersets to be honest. Like on a rare occasion, but usually I just do drop sets. For me, like the way I train, I do accumulation sets, so it's almost like pyramid. So like I'll just warm up for like today I did legs. We're doing sets of 20. It was brutal, but so basically like I do a warm up with like a plate, and I'll just do 20 reps, and then I'll just build up to my top set, and then I'll just bust that out for 20 reps, and then I do a drop down. That's how was beneficial for me.
I'm not going to disregard the fact that you said you raw dog on leg day. I heard that. No, you didn't say that, but I'm just making that up.
I was like,
Yo, Willie, I want to hear about, because you're from Michigan, correct?
Yes.
What is, I mean, because we're all in the Midwest. like what is fitness culture like up in Michigan? Like, one, what gym do you train at?
Well, I train at like it has 2 gyms. It's just a local gym, and it's called Fresh Start Fitness. And then there's one, if you're in Michigan and you know the cities Rockford and Greenville, that's where those are. But it's just a small gym. It's got basically everything. It's just all packed together. And the gym culture, it's like everyone there basically knows each other, because I live in a small town, like I said. Well, actually, I didn't say it in the podcast, but I basically live in the woods where I am. So when I go to the gym, there's usually max 15 people there. And depending on the time you go, if you go early morning, you might be the only person there. It's just all dependent on that. And I like that aspect of it because, I can record and not bother people. Mm-hmm. But either way, I'm still recording regardless. And honestly, like, even when I'm recording, like, my biggest fear was that people would, like, be giving me dirty looks and they'd be, like, talking behind my back and stuff. But honestly, people usually just come up and ask questions about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. And, it's great, really.
Yeah, recording for me, usually I notice that, like, there's always that one person that's going to judge you or whatever, like, put their own negatives on you. But, like, for the most part, people will, like, look at you, and if you're putting in work, regardless, they're going to support you. Like, today, I was, some guy was waiting for the leg press today, and I dominated it. He told me, good set, bro. And then it made me feel good. So, yeah.
No, that's facts. Have you inspired? Because it seems like for your gym, you're probably one of the few people that do record, correct?
I'm one of the very few, yeah.
Like, you're so ahead of the curve when it comes to, like, that gym, right? Like, I feel like, okay, if you lived in LA and you went to zoo culture, like, you would just know, like, okay, doing content is kind of just like a part of going to the gym, right? But, like, how did you know, or, like, how to hop on the train, I guess?
Well, when I started the accounts back in August, I started with my phone. I had a gym partner. I was like, hey, will you just record my sets, and I'm just going to start posting on Instagram, because people wanted to see my workouts. And a lot of the people that wanted to see my workouts never lifted before, so they wanted to see the form. And then my form wasn't the greatest when I started, so people also would just correct that. And then so that's why I did it, to post on Instagram and start, like, teaching people how to do things. And then I was like, you know what? I could, post stuff in the gym on TikTok, on YouTube. And eventually I bought a camera with my graduation money. I was smart with my graduation money that I got. I invested in a MacBook and then a camera. And my camera was just sitting there for a long time because I was too scared to bring it into the gym, because it's a big thing. And, I was always scared people were going to stare at me. And I literally was like, look, Will, you spent $900 on this camera. Just go use it, bro. Like, why do you care? You want to be big. You want to inspire millions of people, but you're scared to go in front of 10 people and record.
That's true.
So I literally brought the camera in there. I was like, if people give you dirty looks, whatever. You're doing your thing. You're going to make it. You just got to trust the process. And I started recording myself, and 2 weeks later, it's just second nature. And I kept recording.
Either way, if you're in the gym and you're judging someone for recording, you're obviously not training hard enough and not focused enough on your workout.
Yeah, honestly, like, usually when people come up to me and ask what I'm doing, I just say that I'm literally recording to track my progress, because I've recorded for months now. And it's really cool to, like, track your progress. So I recommend it to other people as well. Like, if you're scared to record in the gym, it's so worth it. And if you don't take progress pictures, please start taking progress pictures, because that is so important. You're going to regret it in the future if you don't.
Yeah. Okay. My question is, like, regardless of whether your intention was to get big, like, did you ever have a vision to, like, amass and grow your following on your social media platforms? Like, in the beginning, did you ever think that, or was it just okay?
So before I started these, like, I really thought out how I was gonna tackle the social media thing, and I thought about it for a week. I was like, I need to have a good name, I need to have a message, because that's what's gonna make you popular. That's what's gonna push it, because everyone's posting fitness content, but not everyone has a message, and that's why I had 1 day at a time. So I put 1DAATWilly, and some people may change their username to 1DAAT, whatever their name is, and that's kind of what my goal was to do, anyways. And
it's like ASAP for music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I literally wrote out on a piece of paper, I have it hung up in my room, like, before I started, what my goals were, when I wanted to reach them, how I was going to do that. And I literally wanted to reach 1 million followers by when I started, like, well, a year from when I started. And obviously, like, it still can happen. There's just a few months left. I just got to grind it out. And if I don't, I don't. It's just one of those things. I'm still going to be pushing forward, because I didn't realize at the beginning that it's just the beginning, Mm-hmm. Like, I had all these big aspirations. I wanted to blow up really quick. But people fall in love with the journey. Once they see even more progress, and once I get to, like, a bigger physique, I'm just gonna start becoming more respected, and then the train will keep rolling.
Yeah.
No, that's facts. They gotta fall in love with your journey. It's not like you're just making, like, I mean, you are making hit video after hit video, but it's like it coincides with like your physique progress too.
Yeah.
And like that part, unfortunately, takes actually a lot of fucking time. You know, like you're not going to be Chris Bumstead status in like a year.
Exactly. And when I started the videos, like I was posting I posted every single day, and I started out with 10 views, 1 comment, 100 comments, or 100 views, 2 comments, and it slowly just became a consistent thing. And right now, all my videos like tend to get around like 10K views and a decent amount of comments. And I like the consistent growth. I'd rather have that than blow up and then fall off,
It's one thing that we actually talked about with the podcast. Like, we're just making higher peaks, and that's just how, like, kind of what you're explaining with your content.
Because we make adjustments based on like the analytics, like maybe there will be, or even the comments, right? Like somebody, gives some constructive criticism on like, hey, have this person on, or hey, like you guys should do this or that. I mean, I'm not saying everything, because you still got to have your vision at the end of the day, and you can't let other people dictate that. But like making those adjustments in real time is actually going to help you out. And what was my question? Oh yeah, so it's like, how did your content like progress over time? Like obviously you started with just like a phone, right? But like how much better has it gotten? And like, how did you, I guess, get better? How did you measure like progress of getting better?
So, well, first, I would say just check it out for yourself. Like on your own time, like check out like when my first videos posted.
Check out 1DAATWilly.
Yeah. Check out 1DAATWilly, my man. But so basically with my content, it started off with the majority were hate comments.
Yeah.
And a lot of them would criticize what I was doing, and I would try to change that. And slowly, I just was like, you know what? There's always going to be haters. I just got to keep doing what I want to do. I got to keep pushing out my personality, and if they're going to hate, that's on them. Because I know that eventually people will pick up because, in my opinion, I do have a likable personality, and it does show. So that's just what I kept doing. I still get hate comments to this day, but I just don't let it bother me. And then when people who followed me, I'd always check if there were hate comments and if they followed me. And if they followed me and it was more of like a constructive criticism, I'd be like, okay, well, maybe I need to change this. And just over time, that's kind of how my content went.
Yeah, so you got a question before I get into it. I just want to say that's one thing I struggle with. Sometimes I let them get to me, and I gotta.
You do.
I just respond, and I'm like, I bash them.
That's why I stopped responding to hate comments like completely. I was like, you know what? It's a waste of my time. Literally, at the end of the day, you have the option to first press on the comment, then type it out, and then press send. And if you don't if you could look at that comment and be like, whatever, they're not trying to make progress. They're just trying to bring me down. Because some people literally find enjoyment in taking others down. Like, people love to see other people fail. If they can make somebody quit making content, they made their day, They
also just want a reaction, and like that literally takes like what he said, that actually takes energy to do, right? Mental energy, physical energy. It's a waste of your fucking time. Like that's the reality. So here's a guy that I follow. I follow a lot of anime. I'm not gonna cap. And so like there's a page I watch, posts reviews and the updates on like My Hero Academia and One Punch Man, all that kind of stuff. And the guy he was like, yo, I remember at one point I said like, don't or unsubscribe to me or something like that. But I think all the haters are gone now. So like seriously, subscribe back. And so this guy in the comment section, because I heard that, I was like alarmed. I was like, why would you ever say that about your own content, bro? And he goes, don't sweat the distractors. In fact, encourage more distractors. Interaction is the name of the game, whether positive or negative.
Yep.
Encourage everyone to subscribe. Focus on the positive, ignore the negative. I, sir, am a proud subscriber. Keep the hits coming. Cheers. And it was, hey, Denver Johnson, by the way, I'm going to shout you out. Zonin is his name. That's the guy I follow. He posts a bunch of anime-related content. So actually go follow both those pages. If you like anime, they're really good. But like, no, that's the fucking truth. And I thought of that when I saw the comments, because we got a bunch of fucking hate on one of our reels. And this man was going ham in the comments. I was like, oh God, this isn't good. And it's at the end of the day, it's just like, yo, just fucking leave them be. It ain't that deep, And like, obviously we're learning, all of us are learning in the journey. But like, yeah, fuck the haters. It's still engagement at the end of the day, and it's going to keep pushing your content.
One thing I would say, if you're going to respond at all, just respond with love.
Yep.
Literally, that pisses them off even more, and then they'll drop another comment, and then just ignore them, and they may drop another, and they'll keep being in your feed, and you'll keep getting content interaction.
And they look fucking retarded.
Yeah, and they make them look
Excuse my language, but it's like, sorry, I didn't mean to offend anybody out there. I know somebody's going to say some shit to that.
I guarantee someone
Fuck the haters.
Fuck the haters.
But okay, so like for you though, sorry, I didn't mean to like tail in there, but that was good. So it seems like a lot of how you progressed was actually off of the feedback from your audience, correct?
Yeah.
And so I guess now, so like when it first started, you said it was a lot of hate comments. Now, how is the comment section and like, I call it the reviews, so to speak, right, changed?
So honestly, like a lot of people just say like that I'm their biggest inspiration in my comments, and that literally makes my day because now I've gotten to the point where there's not really hate comments. Like I literally only get 1 to 2 hate comments on a post, and sometimes 0. And that's just what my whole goal was to do, was just like make a positive community of people all together. Because I literally said I wanted to promote positivity and inspire other people, and that's what I'm doing.
That's facts. I always think of rappers when I think of anything, I swear to God. But like Drake, right? Drake literally is like the most quote unquote like controversial like rapper ever, dude. But he's like the biggest thing of all time. And like if he spent his time just focusing in on the haters, he would have never made it that far either. Because he has a vision, right? He has a vision of being the best rapper ever. And who am I to tell him that he can't do that, right? Just as much as for you, who am I to tell you that you can't aspire to motivate other people with a message that is positive one day at a time, right? And amass a positive community, not a negative one, like a good one. Like, that's fucked up.
Yeah. And to anybody out there who wants to start posting content, wants to start inspiring others, just do it. Literally, like he said, if somebody says you can't do it, that's great. They don't think you can. Prove them wrong. If you believe in yourself and you consistently go at it every single day, I promise you can accomplish whatever goals you have.
I'm going to make a correlation. I feel like the people that say shit like that is very similar to like what your grandpa said to you. Like it's almost more of a motivation than the person that's like, yo, you got this, keep doing it.
Yeah, at this point, I do take like hate comments just as motivation to just to prove them wrong in a sense.
You just got to prove yourself wrong too.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like when you're making content, you just got to start. Like for me, when I first started, I never expected to be where I'm at right now. I guarantee. I mean, he had a vision, but like there's a point where you realize like you can do this for like your living or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just got to progress in it. Like I see a lot of people, they try and make content. You know, they have one video that goes up and then they see the views dip down and they just give up on their content. I see it a lot.
Yeah, actually, I like you said, you didn't ever think you'd get this far. Like I was talking with my brother 2 days ago, and I was just like, because like I haven't been growing super quickly on social media, and I was like, that's just kind of been upsetting me because I'm putting a lot into it and not getting a whole lot out. And he told me, because he knows how many people I have, like he said, there's literally over 46,000 people who appreciate the content you're putting out and support you. Like that's literally more than an entire baseball stadium. Like more than an entire baseball stadium is supporting you.
That's more than like, that's the same as like Michigan University, bro.
Yeah.
You have Michigan University literally supporting you. Think about it that way. That's fucking insane. You're a D1 athlete.
Damn.
Yeah,
But,
I was going to say...
but TikTok.
I was going to say, with like you and me combined, we as just 2 individuals inspire over 100,000 individuals. And that's a crazy number.
insane.
And soon enough, it'll be each of us are doing that.
Yeah.
You know?
And sending up this
Same
podcast
with you
too.
once you start posting content.
I know, dude, but this is my investment right now. Like this podcast, because it takes a lot out of you. I work full time too. So like to do, you know, your own fitness content, try to run like a brand as like this podcast and like work. It's difficult. I'm not making excuses. Just like, this is my priority. And I prioritize like bringing this to the top because I view, at least personally, you got to figure out what your appeal is too, right? Like not everybody's going to be a transformation story.
Yeah.
Some people like Derek from More Plates, More Dates, right? Like he literally appeals to people just through his knowledge, although he does have a physique, right? So like I just talk big words. So like I view as like I'm better suited for doing stuff like this. So
Definitely.
yeah, that's my 2 cents at least. Okay, I want to hear more about like your like personal life, bro. I don't know what the fuck happens in Michigan. Seems like you're in the fucking boonies, right? Like what do you do in your free time?
Bro, like where I live, I'm telling you, there is nothing to do. That's why I'm genuinely trying to get out of there as soon as I can. That's why I've just been saving up money in hopes to get out of there, because literally like my weeks are just the same thing over and over and over. It's just repetitive. You know, I go to work, I go coach baseball, I go to the gym, I come home, I do the same thing. And then on weekends, there's not really anything to do around here.
Yeah.
Like I'd have to drive, you know, an hour every other direction to go actually do something, or I could hang out with my friends, but I don't even really do that much or do that much anymore, just because I'm trying, like I said, to get out of here or to get out of. Well, I'm in Indiana right now, but you know, out of my hometown.
Yeah. And here's one thing I'm gonna say. Like, no hate to people's friends or whatever. Like, you got your friends, but like some people just don't have the same vision like to do something great like we are.
We've been fortunate, like at least us together have been fortunate to have each other because like we do have that same vision, but like, that took years to find that person, like, and unless you go to a place where there's more of those people, the odds are you might never find that person.
Yeah, exactly.
So I do like to emphasize the fact, especially on the InspoCast, is that everybody that comes on here, the difference between like this and the Mogcast and any other big podcast you can think of is like we're all fucking normal ass people that are striving to be great in fitness. We're not there yet, right?
100%.
Dude, talk about just like how fucking normal of a person you are. Like you said, like what do you do for work?
I run the social media for a real estate agency.
Okay, that's actually kind of sick.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And then my plan was after the baseball season to become a real estate agent. But I've just been thinking, like, I really want to put everything into content creation because, like, I literally genuinely believe that this summer is my summer. Like, I've been saying that to myself. So I think I'm going to throw the real estate thing out the window and just literally go after it, start traveling around. Because I already have a plan to go to Canada this summer, to go to Philadelphia to make content with other people, go to New Jersey. So I have stuff planned.
Do you ever think about going to Alphaland? Alphaland?
I haven't thought about that, but that genuinely would be
I
smart.
want to go.
Connection City.
Yeah,
You'd run into everyone. Yeah.
Yo, Sina, you want to hear some crazy shit? So we had a guy, his name's Daniel Garrido. He's one of our good friends that lives in town. He was telling us about how he was going to go to Alphaland. And we're like, yo, who do you want to see when you go there? And he's like, oh, I want to see this person and this person and this person. And we're like, bro, you're going after like the big dogs, like Alpha League Incorporated type of shit. Bro, he has pictures with them this week. Yeah. Literally insane. We're going to be making reels of that shit. It's actually insane.
I texted him with the InspoCast and I was like, bro, tell OT about the podcast. He said, if I see him again, I'm going to tell him.
Yeah, he has to, dude.
Yeah.
They have a podcast down there. It's funny enough. Hey, we started before Legacy Loading, Apostolic or LT if you're watching this, just know that. But anyways, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Damn it. Okay, doesn't matter. But anyways, you also got to hit up Connorson Fit. We actually just had him on episode 13 of the podcast. This dude's insane. He literally is the editor for Shulk, and like he's had contact with like a bunch of big people. I know we talked about it before we even came on, but that'd be a big one. But no, like you are who you know too. So like the more people that you engage with, like dude, like this is one thing for you, right?
Exactly.
But the more people that you engage with, the more likely you are to get involved in this community and actually make it to the top.
You want your name to be in people's mouths.
Yeah.
That's what it is. If you have people talking about you, you're gonna blow because they're spreading to other people and it just continues. That's why you collab with a ton of people and they're spreading your name around. It's gonna grow, and that's why I'm trying to do all these things this summer, especially with Canada because that's just a completely different country. I have a whole opportunity to hit every single person in Canada, and I'm actually going to it's one of the big Montreal.
Montreal. I've been there, dude. It's sick. Yeah. So wait, what are you gonna do there?
I actually have a friend out there that I met through TikTok, and we're gonna rent an Airbnb with his friends and just be there for a week. And he has a gym nearby, so we're gonna be living the dream for a week. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the drinking age is like 18 or 19 too. So
yeah, I think it's 18.
TikTok, obviously social media at large has been a big way to be able to connect with individuals. Like through TikTok, what opportunities do you think you've kind of given yourself? Like who have you gotten in contact with that you don't think you would have otherwise?
I mean, I've gotten in contact with some like pretty like people that are up there in the industry in my opinion. Like Brett, I don't know his last name, but Brett Westover, whatever he does, the One Sip reviews. I don't know if you've ever seen him, but he's affiliated with Rise, like the energy drink part of it. So he's with them. And then there's just one dancer that was like over 1 million followers, and for some reason he just liked my content. I just got in contact with him. And then supplement companies, just people reaching out to me, literally people asking like to pay me to make a video. I was like, I never thought that would ever happen in my life. And I actually just did one for a company called Belt Bro. They paid me $100 for one video, and I just put my own creative spin on it, threw in the sentences they needed me to add in, and I made money off that. And I thought that was cool. So definitely take advantage of the opportunities that you get. Not all of them, because you obviously want to push out stuff that you want to push out.
Right.
Because I've obviously gotten stuff like, there's always like this like herbal like seed oil company that reaches out. I'm like, look, with all due respect, I got nothing to do with seed oils. I don't care about those. Please stop reaching out, But with Belt Bro, it was just like, why not? Because it's just like, it's just strapped to this belt. You just kind of put it on both sides of your loops and you're chilling. I was like, have some
They
that
actually give you a free product too.
Yeah, they send them to me. So
Yeah, that's sick as fuck.
It's like $150.
That's $250 because he made $100 too.
Well, yeah.
Oh, that's sick as fuck, dude.
But I definitely agree with you. Like you don't want to work with companies that
you
they-
don't.
Yeah, exactly. Because like if you push that out to your viewers, like you said, they get burnt out too. I don't know if you said it before we hopped on or during, but you said they get burnt out. So like for me, like like the creator place, like it gets you companies that want to work with you.
Yeah.
So I actually it was probably the same company. It was like seed oils.
I'm like, I'm all good on that.
Yeah.
It does
CBD,
nothing.
no, actually there's one company that wants to work with me, and I was like, okay, I do use CBD cream for like my knees and stuff, so like that's actually something I might do.
InspoCast loves CBD. Thanks. But I always like to say it's like you are not a code. Like you yourself are not a code. You are you, right? You're better off gaining your own like following that you created yourself and just like making a fucking t-shirt.
That's what I'm actually about to do.
Bro, make one that your business.
This is something.
One that could, yeah.
This is literally that was what I was about to do. So I guess I'll release this now. I have merch dropping next month. So I'm working on it, and that's something that I always wanted to do in the first place. I was just scared to do it. I was scared that I wouldn't make enough sales. But at this point, I know I can push stuff out. I know people want it. If people have reached out to me asking about it. Ever since I got the new logo on all my TikToks, I've got over 100 DMs and comments, people asking. And I was like, look, you got to go all in. And my uncle, he was in the screen printing business. He's retired now, but I would be able to get good deals and all that stuff. So.
Yeah.
It's just something I got to do, and that's why I don't want to do the real estate thing, because I want to put everything into building a name for myself.
No,
and my
you
brand.
definitely have a good community too, so you definitely get a good support.
And even like people from my school that I graduated from, they said I've had a few kids reach out to me as well. So
InspoCast merch coming summer of 2022, by the way. Get ready to check out the
Bro,
website.
we got to do a 1DAATWilly collab.
Yo, that would actually be sick as fuck. Hashtag to the moon.
To the moon.
Yeah, that's actually our brand tag, to the moon, because we're all going to the motherfucking moon. We're all going to the top. Yeah, and also check out the website as well too. It has all of our, it literally has a calendar of every single episode that we've done with the description on there too. This one's gonna be on there. It's gonna be sick AF. Sorry, I'm just like shamelessly plugging this whole podcast. This podcast is an advertisement. No, not really. But dude, that's actually gonna be sick because one thing I talked to him about. Because at the end of the day, like you are a business, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, the smarter you get in business too, the more successful you're gonna be. And so I'm actually in car sales, funny enough, and I actually make really good money right now, which is awesome. But how the owner of the dealership I started out was like, he was like 16. He bought one car with like $2,000-$3,000 or something like that. He sold it. So let's say it was $2,000. Sold it for $3,000. Bought a $3,000 car. Sold it for $5,000. Bought a $5,000 car, sold it for $7,000, then bought two $3,000 cars, right? And so it's like all you have to do in reality is just make the first big upfront investment, which is the hardest part, right?
yeah, because if you have fear that you're not going to succeed, it's difficult to put something into it, especially a large amount of money into something. So.
It's the same thing as like not believing in yourself in fitness. Like when you talked about it, you're like, I'm just gonna be this way for the rest of my life. But you have to make that leap of faith and just trust in yourself that you can do it. Because dude, everybody's the fucking same at the end of the day. I was thinking about this. I was like, yo, in reality, from a physiological standpoint, there's not a lot of difference between us and Joe Rogan, right? The difference is like he just believed in himself and he just did it consistently.
Yeah, you just have to. You can look. If you're the least motivated person out there, that was me at one point as well. You literally just have to rewire your mindset, and you can literally do anything you want. Anything you want to accomplish, you can do. You just have to have the right mindset, and you got to learn the mindset. You just got to force it.
So long term, because obviously, I mean, you've adopted the mindset. Obviously, we're all still not at a place where we want to be, right? And I don't think any of us in 5 years exactly know where we want to be, right? But what are your benchmarks right now for future goals? Like where, in essence, like where you want to be long term?
Yeah. So honestly, like I would like to get into bodybuilding, like competitively at some point, but right now I just am trying to focus on being the best version of myself and like, getting myself to the right mindset. Because I know right now I wouldn't have the mental capacity to go through a whole show prep. Like there's no way I could do that. Just because my mindset's still not built up enough for that.
Yo, you don't know until you try. I'm gonna be the first one to inspire you right now on the InspoCast. Come on, dude. I believe you can do it. The only person that doesn't believe it is you.
Exactly. You're right. You're 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta think about that too.
Dude, that goes for all of us, right? The only limiting factor for why none of us are where we want to be is because of our minds.
Yeah.
And so you have to surround yourself with people that have ambitions and goals even bigger than you. You know, we talked about one time, it was like, when you go to the gym, you know, it's really humbling to go there with somebody that's honestly just like, I'm just gonna put it as like better. They're literally just better than you at the gym, right? And it teaches you like how hard you can actually push yourself. So like you have to surround yourself with those kinds of people, get out of your comfort zone consistently, and then you'll figure out kind of like what your limitations are and be able to get to that person you want to be a fuck ton faster too, right?
Yeah, and one thing that I found that helped me like put myself out there and like actually be more interactive with people, because I used to be really shy. Well, not around people I knew, but like just new encounters. I literally just started like embarrassing myself like on purpose in a sense. Like I would like around Christmas I would put on like a Christmas sweater. I'd put on slippers.
The elf outfit.
Yeah,
right?
Christmas slippers, and I would go into the gym and hit workouts like that. And people were looking at me, people would laugh, people would smile, and I was like, look, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. You just have to do it, and that's it. There's gonna be opinions, and at the end of the day, if you're enjoying what you're doing, that's great. You just gotta embarrass yourself a little bit, and you'll get used to it. And then once you get used to it, start embarrassing yourself more so you can progress.
Word in the motherfucking wise, baby. Let's go.
I got a question if you guys are ready to move on from that.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on a balanced lifestyle? So like people who go out to party and stuff like that. Like what's your opinion on that? Like do you do that stuff or not?
Like a little bit I do, yeah. There's just not a whole lot around me. Obviously when I go hang out with my friend at a D1 university, I'm probably gonna be partying a little bit.
Nice, yeah.
I'm definitely about balance for sure. I'm more like I try to stay on pace, I try to stay on track and like push forward every single day, but I still would go out and, you know, do fun things like party and stuff like that, just not as often as I used to.
I definitely agree with that.
I'm raising my hand for when you're ready to answer. I have a question.
Oh me?
Yeah.
Okay, but for me, sometimes you know I go out to a party like every couple of weeks, every month. It might take me a minute.
You're good.
But like I remember watching this video from Hattie. Like if you want to have a balanced lifestyle, when that alarm goes off on Monday, like no snooze button, you gotta get up and get to work.
Well, yeah, no, 100%. You still gotta get, like, I would only literally use like a weekend day to do that stuff. Like during the week,
exactly.
I'm on, like, I don't have time to waste. Like, I gotta get after it and do the things I gotta do. But
What is your definition of a balanced lifestyle?
That's tough.
Anybody.
I don't think I live the balanced lifestyle, honestly.
But what is it to you though? Like, what does that mean? Because it's different for everybody.
Bro, I never thought of it honestly. I might just make it up right now.
I can
Go ahead first.
For me, like a balanced lifestyle is I'm doing everything I said I would during the week. I'm getting all my stuff done. I'm staying consistent. I'm staying on track. And if I did stay on track that whole week, then on Saturday, like I'll like have a cheat meal or I'll go to a party or do something like that. But if not, I'm gonna stay on track the rest of the week and just recycle it or like just redo that from week to week. If I stay consistent those first 5 days, I can enjoy myself. But if I don't, I'm going through it again.
For me, same thing as you, but I don't think people that go out to clubs every weekend are living a balanced lifestyle.
I agree.
Because like Alex said, and that was number
9.
9.
Check out Sunday, by the way.
He was like, fuck, what up? He was like, they're like, I can't lose weight, but they go out to drink on the weekends, and then they come back to Monday and they're the same person they were the week before, and they're like, what the fuck did I do? Well, you're living too balanced of a lifestyle.
Yeah, unless you find like the most balanced lifestyle possible, like you're able to stay on track even on the weekend. If you're going wild at parties every weekend and still somehow manage to stay on track, and then great, you got that balanced lifestyle down. But if you're not making progress, then definitely just try to tone it back a bit if you really want to make progress.
Yeah.
Call me a fucking narcissist for this, but like, yeah, alright, cool, I like that. I literally want to be better than everybody else, like, in a sense, okay? And so, like, I always think about the individuals that, like, do go out on the weekends that are executing 5 out of 7 days a week, and there was a good analogy that I heard one time. It was like, what's 5 divided by 7? And I was like, I don't fucking know. 71%, it's a fucking C minus. Like, that's not very good, you know? And so for me, I'm like, yo, look, that person that's grinding 5 days a week, if they just did that 7 days a week and found ways to integrate little things that they like in there, dude, you're gonna see way more fucking progress. So it's like, for me, it's like, how do I achieve a balanced lifestyle every single day of the week? Because it's like, another good thing I heard on TikTok was just like, you know, Monday, how people perceive Mondays, right? Of like, yo, it's just it's a shitty ass day, or Sunday is like your reset day. Like that's all just in your head. Like in reality, it's just a system that we made up. In reality, it's a whole, he was like, think of it as like every day is a totally brand new day that the universe is giving you, right? So like you have a completely refreshed start on, and to make this day literally the best thing possible.
One day at a time.
It literally is one day at a time. Get rid of the Monday bullshit, get rid of the Saturday bullshit, just have goals in your mind, in your head, and write them down too, like you said. Don't just write down your workouts, write down everything in your life that you want to be successful at, and just go after it, and find time in your day to actually implement those things that you like. Like maybe, think about the things that actually like bring you value. Like maybe it's a friend that you haven't seen in a long time that you want to go talk with, rather than just like binging at McDonald's. Or like, hey, maybe it's like, oh shit, I really need to work on like my fucking like financial shit because I'm like terrible with my money. Like, go do, or whatever it is. Like for me, that's kind of like my version of balance, and I'm just like, it's a ticking time bomb for when like this life's gonna be over. So like I need to get after my goals like now. I don't have a Saturday to take off to get this shit going.
Here's the thing. I actually started listening to like
the Real Bodybuilding Podcast.
No, I don't ever see that. It was on SoundCloud. It was like those bodybuilder motivation videos, and then like, there's one clip and it really got to me. It was like 1 hour that you don't do something, that's an hour wasted forever.
That's very true.
Yep. Because every hour we're getting closer to the inevitable end.
Yeah, because you don't know when your end is.
Exactly.
I'm gonna do some math here really quick for you guys. Okay. Okay.
You could just add me almost math.
You ready to hear this shit?
Yeah.
Alright, so you waste 1 hour a week, okay? Or no, 1 hour a day, let's say, okay? Multiply that by 365, that's 365 hours. What is your life expectancy? I just put it at like 75, okay? So that would be X amount of hours, I don't know exactly what it would be, but then in essence you literally wasted like 1,140 hours of like your own.
Divide that by 24
I think
and see how many days it is.
No, actually I think that is days. I think it's 1,140 days.
Oh yeah, it is.
So divided by 365, you literally wasted 3 years of your life.
Wow.
Holy fuck. You literally would, yeah. Isn't that insane?
Yeah, that's actually
So
crazy.
think about it like that, folks. Like literally do the math. If you're just wasting 1 hour, even 1 hour of your day, right? Like you're wasting years of your life on just dumb, petty shit.
You don't got time to waste.
And you don't have time to waste like that. You think you can give up 3 years? Like, it's gonna take you 3 years to get your goals.
You already sleep a third of your life.
Yeah.
That's very true.
And you're gonna spend a fucking the 16 hours you're up, 2 hours of it, so an eighth of your day in the gym. Or well, okay, maybe not that much. You actually don't need that much to succeed necessarily, but like, a lot of these things are gonna take up a lot of time, inevitably. And you're gonna work like a third of your life too, like there's gonna be a lot of different things. So get to motherfucking work, people.
I'm trying to get to a point where content creation is my job, like period. That's it. Because that's literally the ultimate dream. I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah, for me, I definitely agree with that. I also want to prove my parents wrong. Because they want me to stay in college, and I just want to prove to them that I don't need it to be successful.
That's definitely a big fuel in fire for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, open mic for this. What do you think, because all of us have different paths to how we need to be successful, right? And areas of improvement in our lives that we need to work on. Like, for each of us individually, just brutally honest about yourself, like, what are the things that you think you need to improve on to really be the person that you want to be?
So, hey, honestly, I actually know 100%, and it's literally just like time management. I do have great time management, but I do spend a lot of time on social media, and that's why like when I started social media, for the first 2 months, I literally did not follow a single person on any platform. The only thing I saw was my own post, and I'm obviously not gonna go look at my own post because I know what they are. So I literally didn't waste time on social media, and that really did like push me to be better. It pushed me farther, and I still I want to follow the people that I support, but I would just probably spend less time doing so. I would still support them here and there, but I just would like to have focus on my path, because when you start focusing on every other person, because you do find a lot of interaction, you do find new people every single day. You have the opportunity to do so, and if you're worried about what they're doing and you're worried about their progress, you're not going to be able to make progress yourself because you're comparing yourself to others.
Yeah.
But that's literally why initially I didn't follow anybody, because I had one focus and that it did work out. But
personally, I view social media as like a business. Like I really do, and especially if you want to make that your career, that's how you have to think of it, right?
But like I just mean like wasting time watching watching
Yep.
TikToks, like liking them. There's like ones that I wouldn't like necessarily have to interact with, you know. Like it's just like random posts that like comedy posts or nothing related to fitness, like nothing to self improve myself. If you're using it like for business aspects, or like to improve yourself in a way, then yeah, definitely.
It's like don't watch somebody else eat while your food's getting cold.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
It's like, and I think of the same thing in a business. It's like, you know, are you just gonna watch your competitors keep succeeding and excelling? Like, obviously, you want them to succeed. I think we want everybody to succeed, but like, they want you to succeed too. And if you just keep focusing on their vision, like, you're never gonna get to where you actually want to be. And I agree with you. Like, I have my King Culture Productions page. I don't follow anybody. I literally just like I do like a video editing and stuff like that, and like. I just do it so I can just post my content and not just work, and I don't have to worry about anything. Like, it's just like my page to document the stuff that I want to do, and I don't worry about any of the other bullshit. So, no, I think it's a good way of going about it.
Productive time on social media is better than like just unproductive time on social media. If you're using it for a productive purpose, like responding to people's DMs or responding to your supporters' comments and stuff like that, great. Because you're making improvements for yourself and for potentially your brand.
Yeah. Social media is kind of tough. It's like such a fine line.
You gotta find like a happy medium.
Because I know a lot of people that are just kind of against social media at large, and I don't blame them. Like, you know, I'm just like, yo, if you don't want to get involved in like basically other people's opinions and like values and ideas like being pushed upon you just through your feed, like, and you just want to live your life, like, cool. But like the thing is, if you treat your page like it's a business, like you said, and you just post your content, like, I think there's a positive to that more than there is a negative.
Yeah, 100%.
Alright, for me, the things I need to improve on, same thing with him. I find myself scrolling. And then, I guess just being more productive.
Just for like time where you just be.
Why do you think you are not as productive?
I'm on social media all the time.
But like, why?
Probably not a good reason, to be honest. It's just.
Like when I'm not making content, I'm just scrolling, to be honest.
That's how it is for me.
I think it's like because we have aspects of discipline in our lives. Like, you know, you may be really disciplined in the gym, but you may not be disciplined in another area of your life, right? And I think it just a lot of it comes down to discipline at the end of the day.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Like, you have to have the mental fortitude. Like, I was doing the same thing last night. I was scrolling through TikTok, and I was like, I don't scroll through TikTok that often, honestly, but like, I was, and it was like a TikTok like ad, basically. It was like, hey, are you staying up at night, like, scrolling through your feed? It's like, here, let's have a meditation session. And so I was like, fuck yeah, I'll do it. And so I did it, and it was like, all right, now, if you want, and you should, turn off your phone and go to bed. And I was like, you know what, lady, you're fucking right. Like, I had to have that reminder, though, but like, you need to have the mental fortitude just to do that by yourself, you know? So, hey, no, but we all have, and those are minimal problems, though, right? It's not like anymore we're at the point where it's like, I just gotta get my ass in the gym, you know, I'm scared to get in the gym. You know, all of us here have gone a long ways, which is good. And think about it, those are the only things holding us back from being literally the best version of ourselves.
Yes.
And that's a lot of people. So I guess, in that regard, although we are not perfect, go ahead.
I do have one more thing that I'd like to improve on. And that is literally like, I say like I don't care about what people think, but I still like will catch myself like I like in the mirror, I'll just be looking at myself subconsciously. I catch myself saying, what are people gonna be thinking about when I wear this? Like exactly like when I wore this stuff today, I was like, I usually wear high top socks. I got the low ones today, so I don't know why, I just like feel like naked without them. And when I was wearing those shoes, and I was like, I need socks. And I was like, people are gonna notice that. No one's gonna notice that I'm not wearing high top socks, you know. Like it's just one of those things. If you really genuinely don't care about what people think, you would get up, get ready, go outside, and just do your thing.
Yep.
You know, interact with random people, and just really like at the end of the day.
Go ahead.
Like I know that there's many times in the gym where I'd like to go up to someone and like talk to them, but I'm just like, well, what if they don't want to talk about blah 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 blah, you know? And it's not even in the gym, but just in general. Like at the grocery store, if I wanted to say something funny to someone, I'd just be like, nah.
Do you remember what Connor said yesterday on episode 14 about? I asked him. It was like, it seems like you've done a good job of like not letting. Basically, like other people, you know, like looking at other people and being like, wow, you're just better than me, you know? Like, he doesn't really have that mindset. Do you remember that story that he told?
Oh,
Totally forgot already.
Like, we go through a lot of podcasts here. So in essence, he was like, so I had this friend, he was like well wise beyond his age. You know, you have those people in your life.
I remember.
Yep. And so he was at
the guy
the
with the huge bicep piece?
Yep. And he was at the gym with them, and he was like, bro, your biceps are so huge. Like, I will never have biceps that big, you know? And his friend just looked at him, and he goes, why does it matter? Like, honestly, like, why does it matter that my biceps is bigger than yours? Like, it really doesn't even fucking matter. and he just thought about it for a second. He was like,
Yeah.
oh, I guess you're fucking right. And so he literally, at that point, just stopped giving a shit about anybody else. Like, he just didn't care because he was just like, it literally does not matter. Like, it's like, that's the difference. It's like, for you, it matters for some reason, like, in the moment at least. But, like, in reality, like, who fucking cares, you know? It's a fucking, the difference is like 4 inches of clothing.
Yeah.
Like, you think about it like that, you sound retarded when you're just like fucking tripping.
And like sometimes before I go into the grocery store or go into the gym, because I've been trying to like actively work on that, like not giving a fuck. I'll literally sit in my car and I'm like, I turn my mindset. I'm like, right now from this second forward, you're not going to give a fuck until you get back to your car. And I go into the grocery store just like sometimes I can't reach stuff because I'm short. Like I literally have to have people grab for me. I'm like, hey, can you grab these eggs for me? And sometimes I wouldn't do that. Sometimes I'm like, climb up on the top and grab it. But not, can you grab this for me and make my day easier, please? And yeah, it usually works out.
You know, it was a good thing. It was like, I remember it was an analogy about the bar. And it was like the dude that goes in there that knows absolutely nobody and just goes up and starts talking to people seems like a normal person, right? But although he may be super anxious about it, he's like, but like the person that just sits there and just like has anxiety about that shit, literally, like, and they're just standing in the corner, looks stupid, right? And like in reality, it's like everybody, especially in the gym too, it's like everybody kind of feels the same way. Like whether we realize it or not, like everybody is like super self-conscious of themselves. So it's like knowing that, it's just like you don't have to trip about anybody else, bro. We all feel the same way, and actually you're gonna look way cooler and way more dope if you just act normal and don't give a fuck about what anybody else thinks.
People are gonna be paying more attention to you sit in the corner fucking hugging yourself.
Yeah, you're gonna do exactly what you don't want.
Yeah.
That would be super sauce. I didn't feel dare. I'm still not your grabber. I'm just gonna sit in the corner and just drink my beer and be a fucking weirdo and stare at girls.
I low-key did that a lot in my past.
Really?
Like just stand there in the corner, yeah.
Just because anxiety, like super bad
Mm-hmm.
anxiety.
Yo, do you deal with anything like that, Willie? Do you deal with anxiety or do you deal with like...
Yeah, definitely. Like, there's some days where, like, before I go to the gym, I'm, like, super self-conscious, and I'm like, look, bro, like, I don't want to do this. Especially, like, when I first started and I was, like, bigger, I was like, bro, like, I just can't go in, because I was so worried that people were going to say something or something along those lines, and, like, I still to this day get anxiety about some stuff. Like, I really am genuinely nervous to go into some places, and that's usually when I try to force myself to say, I don't give a fuck from this point forward, you know, and I try to, like, force myself to just break out of that anxiety, but it is hard sometimes. There's some days where, like, I'm really not feeling myself, and those are the days you just gotta push through, because those are the days that will make you better.
Yeah, and I also touching on that, like, not giving a fuck. Like, recently I've been doing that, like, for maybe a month or two, and, like, it's almost like progressive overload, but, like, in a different sense. Like, like, for me, I don't get as uncomfortable as I used to or anxious as I used to. I just say, fuck you. If you judge me, I don't give a shit. Fuck you. I'm gonna do my own shit, and whatever. If you support me, you support me. If you don't, it's what it is.
It is what it is, because you literally have 56,000 people that fucking like follow your journey and like actually do support you. So why do you care about the one person that doesn't? You care more about the one person that doesn't than like Michigan or Purdue or like whatever. Like, it doesn't make any sense, right? So
I got one more thing, like, what was it? Oh, no, don't leave. What was it? Oh, yeah, like, with recording, sometimes I would wait until, like, to make sure until no one was looking at me and stuff. But now at this point, for my grocery haul videos, I would grab eggs from the egg section and then move to, like, some random aisle where nobody was, like by the carpet or something. And I was like, look, you're grabbing the eggs and you're saying, eggs. You're holding up in the camera. I don't care if anyone's standing by you. You're just going to start filming because you got to become uncomfortable. Like, being uncomfortable is what makes you progress, really. Like, it's what, like, will break you out of that. Because people like to be comfortable. So once you force yourself out of your comfort zone, that's where you'll definitely make progress.
Get comfortable with the uncomfortable.
That's facts. Actually, that's why I honestly appreciate content. Like, I don't know if you know who Loaf is or Gideon.
I love Loaf.
I love Loaf.
Like, because they literally go to an extreme of all of this, right? For them, it's actually like an adrenaline rush. Like, for me, I would shit my fucking pants. I don't really want to do this. But, like...
But I bet after you did it, you kind of feel the same way.
Bro, yeah.
If you could go
like,
just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When you just did something at that
Oh,
poetry
God.
slam.
Bro, my legs started shaking for a second.
Will you talk about it?
Yeah.
Talk about it to the audience.
So basically, I was planning on doing it. So
Go check out his most recent YouTube video. It's on there.
Yeah, open mic night. So basically, I was like, earlier in the week, I saw a flyer for open mic night, and I was like, recently I saw Gideon's open mic night, so I was like, I'm going to use this poem and just say, fuck it, do it. And so the day came, I was a little nervous, I started recording, and then when I got up to the front,
My legs started shaking. My legs started shaking. And then when I started reading it, I was like, okay, who gives a shit? And I did it, and I felt good after, and it was a good video. And now I want to do more shit like that just because it makes me feel uncomfortable, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't like watching content that's the same as everyone else.
Yes.
Like, if you go and do your own thing, you put yourself out of your comfort zone, there's weird encounters. People are going to be, like, gravitate towards that more than someone who's just, like, sitting there saying, yeah, I got nervous in the gym today, so I didn't record. Like, that's how some people are.
Also, you just trip up on yourself too. You're like, dude, I can't believe I didn't record. Just as much as like, you know, when you fuck up in your fitness, like, you know, I know we've talked about binge eating in the past on the podcast, and it's like, you know, when you go through those moments, like, you're so disappointed in yourself. Like, it's not even, you know, if you would have stopped yourself from, you know, keep binge eating, or like, you know, in the middle of that workout, you'd be like, I'm going to record. Like, I'm just going to do it. Like, get the confidence, right? You feel so much better about yourself. That's like a win.
And I found that, like, recording myself, like, forces me to try harder. Like,
Yes.
So, like, actually, exactly like what you said with binge eating, like, one of my biggest struggles was binge eating, and every time, like, I would look myself in the mirror and say, you don't have to do this, 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 and eventually I'd be like, you know what, you don't, you're right, you don't have to do this, because I'm one of those people, like, with binge eating, where I would, like, actually plan out what I was going to eat. Like, I'm not even going to lie, like, I would plan out what I was going to eat, and I was like, look, you wrote this list, all you have to do now is actually do it, but you don't have to do it. And it worked. And I don't really do it anymore.
Damn. Kudos to you, dude. Like, it really is just as much of a battle as like anxiety or depression or any of those things. I know. Hey, yo, actually, did you watch episode 12 of the podcast by any chance? Go watch it, dude. We dive into it. This man cried. He actually cried. No, but like it was real conversation though, because it is a real crisis. But I just want to say, for like, even though I don't know the whole situation, I'm proud of you, by the way. Like, actually, it takes a lot of fortitude, mental fortitude, to get through shit like that. And that shows your growth if you can go through those kind of stages and get through it. You know?
There's obviously still times where I want to, but and there honestly is some days that I do. It's just I just really, really, really push myself to the point where I'm like, look, you don't have to do this. Like, I'll say as many times as I have to until I don't. And it really is a helpful, like, tactic, even though it may sound dumb. When you're looking at yourself in the mirror, like, you kind of just start getting aggressive with yourself. You're like, you don't have to do it. 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 And I just start yelling at myself straight up. And
I actually had a mental breakdown the other day.
about that.
Just like, damn, I don't even know. I was just overthinking about everything.
You don't have to fucking do it. Sorry, I just turned on my mic so I could say that.
I look, you got to take a piss.
Same, to be honest.
Damn it. Come on. Are we really going to take an intermission in the middle of this?
I think so.
Okay, fine. Actually, side note, I know some of the audio actually accidentally cut out because my computer like turned off. But like, we should be good because we'll actually hear the audio from there.
Okay,
So
yeah,
we're
we'll
Gucci.
be Gucci.
Yo, trust me, post-production is like in full force on this podcast. Because, you know, I'm not saying it's a Jimmy rig setup because we actually have invested like a fuck ton of money into this thing up to this point. But like, you know, we're still improving. Hey, we're only on episode 15 and it's only up from here. But audience, we're going to take a quick intermission and we are going to be back. And we are back. We are live. Let's get it, baby.
Took my bad, guys. I had to piss.
Took a nice piss as well.
Yeah, we had to take a little
Actually,
piss.
we all did.
It's been a long day for all of us. I worked all day. I know he's been traveling for 5 hours. I
played some pickup basketball
Goodness
before.
gracious, son. Yo, but hey, we talked a little bit before we got back on air, and the topic that we want to touch on really quick is the female game. So,
This will be good too.
yeah, hey, this is a good prelude to our next episode 16. We'll talk about that when we get there. But anyways, Females, yay or nay? That's my first question. Yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay.
Okay, shout out. Because I know there's a lot of people out there, especially like the productivity kings and stuff that are like, yo, females are a distraction, you know?
They can be.
They can be. Where in fitness or in your life do you think it's a benefit? We've had this conversation before in other podcasts, but
So ideally for me, like I literally said, because I got broken up with. That was my first relationship I got broken up with. So I said, like, I'm not going to get in another relationship until this person can like provide some sort of like benefit to me and like they're interested in the same things and like want me to be a better version of myself, because I know I would push them to do the same. And if you surround yourself with somebody who wants to like improve themselves with you, like that's the ultimate W.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Willie. But it's not like you have to be passionate about the same things. You just got to be able to support each other and be like, you know, when you're doing your things, do your thing, and they're going to support you when they're doing their things. Support them also. And you want to find the equal balance, like with anything in life, honestly. But I lost my train of thought.
yeah, I always think of it as like a yin and a yang complex with females, because like I've had my fair share of experience. We'll put it at that. And, you know, I've been talking to a girl on and off for like the past, call it almost a year now. Actually, August, when you started your fitness journey, bro. That's crazy. But like, you know, one thing I think about is like, I'm like an intellectual freak. Like I love conversation. And honestly, that's why I invested in the podcast equipment in the first place. But like, you know, one side of me that I don't touch into too often is like my emotional side.
Yeah.
Like I kind of, you know, I wall myself off a lot, and you know, like that's on me. But like, you know, the girl that I've talked to over time, like she is very in tune with herself emotionally, and she calls me out. She's just like, why won't you talk about this? Or like, why are you like almost reserved, you know? And like, it's made me realize that like, you know, emotions are a good thing. They're not a bad thing. Like she asked me one time, she's like, when's the last time you cried? And I thought about it and I was like, I don't know. And she's like, that's not good. She's like, sad is just as much of an emotion as happy is. So like you need to be able to be okay with doing those kinds of things. And it's like, you need to be comfortable even doing that with me or whoever. So like, she's been that person for me to be able to do that. And like, that's a net positive for me, because that allows me to work on like my emotional health, which is good. But like, there are people, you know, maybe you guys are really good at the emotional side. And yeah, I'm just saying, like, you know, hypothetically, right? And they may be good at something else, but like to have that blend and be able to like help each other grow is like so huge.
Yeah. And I just want to touch on that. I feel like a lot of men are reserved. They're like, I mean, there's obviously like the stereotype that men can't show emotions.
Yep.
Here,
So,
go ahead. Yeah.
I'm like reserved, but I'm actually good at handling my emotions. And I'm actually like, I've been doing this for over 3 years now, right? Every time that like I really want to get something off my chest, I literally go into voice memos and like just try to describe how I'm feeling in the moment.
Smart.
Yeah, I describe how I'm feeling in the moment. I describe what's going on and why I feel the way that I do. And looking back at some of the videos from, you know, 2019, I'm like, damn, like I'm really glad that I did record this, because like I can understand how I was feeling in that moment and see how I've progressed since then. And it's so helpful. Like you wouldn't think it is, but it's you're really getting it off your chest. It's just to yourself, you know?
Yeah. And I'm going to say for me, I actually have mental breakdowns a lot. Not a lot, but like, you know, every couple of weeks or whatever. And for me, usually after I fucking cry, like damn, that's gonna sound. People are gonna call me a bitch. Call me a bitch in the comments.
I cry too. It's okay.
Yeah,
Comment
like,
bitch in the comments.
Comment bitch in the comments. Usually when I cry, when it's done, I feel so much better. 'Cause
Yeah.
I let everything out that I was holding in.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like it just builds up and builds up. You just gotta get it out.
It's the same thing as like, oh God, it's gonna be so far. I always give fucked up analogies. Domestic abuse. Like, no, but those people, it's like they bottle up anger, right?
Yeah.
And they just keep bottling up, and finally they lash, right? And that's gonna be the same thing with any emotion. So like you have to stay in tune with those things consistently. Like you can't just like tap into it once, or else, I mean, it's going to be an absolute nightmare. Yeah. Just as much as like going to the gym one time a week is going to be a nightmare, right? You're going to be so sore for the next like 5 days. You're not even going to know what to do with yourself. That's why you need to split it up and be consistent and like invoking those things over time consistently. Yeah. But like, okay, so that's obviously like one benefit of like having a female in your life. Does anybody have any like female experience that they want to like share upon?
Well, like what specifically?
Okay. Well, I know obviously you said you haven't had a lot of relationship experience.
Nah.
I know you've had at least a little bit more, right? You don't talk about the person, but talk about your like last relationship, or if you're in one now.
Yeah, so like I'm not in one now, but literally like I was just fat growing up, and so I had zero game whatsoever, right? So I didn't talk to any girls. I like never did. And once I started gaining confidence after losing weight, I just became better at talking to girls. And then I finally got into a relationship. And I always said to myself, like, I'm not gonna get in a relationship until I feel something's right. And literally, like the one night I was with this girl, I was like, damn, like this, like we're clicking really well. And I was like, you know what? I really genuinely do feel like this will turn into something. And I thought it was, true love. I genuinely did. And like, that's what I was looking for. And it didn't turn out being that way, but I'm glad that I like waited until I thought someone was the right person instead of just jumping into something with a random person,
Also, this is just a disclaimer for the audience. We are not relationship experts by any means. So, hey, take all of this with a grain of salt.
I'm
use
all
our
for
experiences for I'm all for one. Jesus Christ. But yeah, take all of this with a grain of salt because, we're still young too. So I think there's a lot of learning for us to go.
Yeah, definitely.
Because go ahead.
Should I talk about mine?
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, okay. You've had minimal relationship experience. Talk about what you have had, and honestly, I'm curious, just even personally, like why you don't dive harder into the relationship side. So just start first with like why or what
my experiences. Just get those out the way.
Yep.
All right. So I mean, I've had like a couple, but like they're like a month or whatever. I don't count those. Like it's just basically to the talking stage, and usually I fall pretty easily. I'm not gonna lie. Like after a week, I'm like, okay, I want to date this girl, but like I don't just fucking jump into it. Like there's got to be some connection there. There's not really any good experiences except the recent one. I hope you're not listening. That would be bad. But oh man, it was going so good, bro. Like,
what do you mean it was going good?
Like she would support me. Like she wanted me to do my social media stuff and like be good and stuff like that, and like just be a good person. And like we're supporting each other. Like she's a hard worker. I'm not gonna go into specifics so people don't know who I'm talking about, but she works like 30 to 40 hours. She's a manager at a fast food, Chipotle. Oh fuck, I'm on specific.
Dude, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's for the fucking InspoCast, baby. So she works at Chipotle, manager, hard worker, full-time student. And we actually like live. Well, she's actually from here.
Okay.
And so we went to high school together, but like obviously, like you said, you're fat. You have no game. I had no game in high school. I didn't talk to no bitches, except until like senior year. But even then, I was just dialed in on my shit.
Yeah.
And what was the question again?
It was just like talk about that relationship.
Okay.
Like obviously you've talked about the good stuff. Like where did it take a turn? Did it take a turn?
So it was going good. Like she came over and she stayed the night with me up in college, and like we didn't do nothing. We just went on a date and slept, and it was good. Like we were talking, making good memories. And then, man, I was supposed to be quarantined at my school. I actually tested positive, but it was a false positive, so like I didn't give a few shits. I didn't feel sick. And then I went to the gym, and that's why like she just ghosted me. Like I have the receipts. I tried texting her like 2 times after from message like over the next few days. Left me on red. Snapchat left me on red for a couple of days, and then after that I was like, okay, that's it. And I actually fell so hard for this girl. Like I still think about her to this day. But like actually I got over her, but then like recently, I told you guys before, I fucking slid up on a story the other day, and then I kind of got clarity that it's not gonna work out, but I guess I still have hope. Like I'm just a fucking hopeless romantic at this point.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead.
I heard you say something about where it went wrong, and I could definitely touch on that. So like with my relationship, where I think it went wrong is like I was all in way too quickly, and she like didn't want to, like she wasn't like in like that, Like initially we were both like in love, and we I just think I was like worried too much about the future than like way more worried about the future than she was, and she kind of like grew like had an ick to that, and that's
resentment.
And that's where it went south really quickly.
Got it. Okay, I definitely have the most relationship experience out of anybody here, but one thing that I heard that I really resonate with and I think is true is like, you will always love somebody, okay? Like once you gain love for somebody, you will always love them from that point on, but you'll just find somebody that you actually love more, okay? Like that's just how life works. Like you don't grow real genuine connections with people and just lose that. Like humans don't work that way. And so like I was in a relationship in college for 3 years with this girl, and like honestly, that was the first real relationship I'd ever been in. Like I kind of like talked to this girl, we dated like a little bit. It's weird. We actually met through social media, but it was like a couple months in high school, and I was kind of like that fat kid too. I think all of us literally had like the kind of the same backstory, but you know, it was college where I really gained my confidence because that was when I had like lost my weight initially, and I was like, yo, fuck bitches, like I'm ready to just do my own thing, you know, whatever. And then finally, you know, this girl just kind of like stumbled upon me. We just had like, it was just those memories that you never take back, you know, like in the moment, it was so fucking good. And it really always was so good memory wise with her. But it was just really like, she was a person, she was very introverted, like, you know, hard to gain her trust. And so I spent a lot of time, it was almost like a game for me of like trying to gain her trust and not to abuse that by any means, but like, you know, I wanted to do that really bad because I'd never really associated with somebody like that. You know, I gained her trust. And I think for me, I got very complacent. Like you know, you have phases in your fitness just like anything else. And like, it was like, I'd gained complacency in the relationship. And, you know, I mean, there were definitely things that I did that were wrong. And I remember by the end of it, I was just kind of like, I'm done. You know, I don't even want to do this. And like, she was just like, I can't believe you're fucking doing this. Like, I love you. Like, why? You know, it was like a life. Literally, I thought I was gonna get like married to this girl, like dead ass.
Yeah.
And so she, you know, told me like, look, you are not the person that I met in the start, and like you have a lot of work to do on yourself. And that was like, that resonated with me almost as much as like when your grandpa told you you're fat. Like it literally hit so hard because I was like, she's right. Like I am a fucking piece of shit right now, you know? And I literally spent the next 3 months, I like stole a journal from my mom's house. Every single day I would write in this journal addressed to her on how I was self-improving. Like I would literally like, cause okay, fun fact, I was homeless. I actually talked about this in episode 1, but like I would fucking like bum on my friend's couch and I would have to walk everywhere cause I didn't have a car. And so I would literally like walk to like my grandparents' house and like drop them off cards. I would like walk to campus from here, basically. Like it was like 2 hours I would walk just so I could write a chapter in this fucking notebook addressed to her being like, hey, I did a good thing today. I would like talk to homeless people on the street type of shit, you know? And at the end of it, I had $25 in my bank account and I asked my brother to borrow his car. She lives 3 hours away. I drove this car to her house. I dropped off the notebook on her front door. I knocked on the door. I got back in my car. I didn't even talk to her. I just knocked on the door, just dropped it off, and I drove back. I drove 6 hours to drop off a notebook to this girl. That was it. And I finished the whole entire thing. 100 pages. I'd had like memorabilia. There was one time I found while I was walking, it was like this picture of like this guy, and it looked like his like granddaughter or something like that. It looked like it was from like the 1960s. I just found it on the ground. It probably flew out of somebody's car, and I like stapled that in there, like a bunch of different shit. And then by the end of it, it was like me trying to win her back, you know? But I was really, at the end, I was just like, but you don't really need her anymore. And like, it's been 3 months, dude. She's probably a completely different person. It just helped me get out of, like, that was my motivation to get out of the funk, you know?
And like, at the end of the day, like it did improve you as a person. So
Yeah.
you have to be grateful for that.
Yeah. I'm forever grateful to that individual. And actually, I did message them a few weeks ago and they did not respond, which I don't blame them, you know? Like if you hurt somebody that bad, she's like, dude, completely forget about that person from my memory. I can't hate on that, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm still forever grateful to that person. And then after that, it was more like I had two girls I had talked to that were like, honestly treated me like shit. Like literally, like, you know, they always say like, you know, you never want to find a person in your life that's going to like make you feel worse about yourself. It's always like better. And sometimes that happens in relationships. And I just kind of put up with it because I was like insecure about myself.
Yeah.
And it was finally in August, this past August, where I found somebody that was like actually a fucking real one, you know, like actually gave a shit about me as an individual and wanted to help me grow and saw that I was on a path to greatness. And like, you know, everything I told her, she's like, I know you're destined for good things.
Yep.
I've treated her bad in some regard too. I haven't been the perfect person, and neither is she either. You know, it's always going to be everything in a relationship, but like, you know, it's about improving over time. And there's so many things to equate with fitness and relationships and finances and all these things. Cause like, I think in fitness, like you're going to have these different periods where like you do kind of suck, you know, like you're complacent. Maybe you take a week or two off the gym or whatever, and you'll do that in your relationships too. But like the more consistent you are, the more you work on whatever that goal is, like the better it's going to be. So yeah, it's a learning game over time to be consistent in all these things. But yeah, that's my relationship experience. Sorry, that was a lot.
All right, I'm curious, Willie. What's your type, bro?
Yes.
Hey, I'm not even gonna lie. Like
Tits or ass?
ass.
Yeah, same.
Like,
Bro, I'm not
honestly,
gonna
like I don't have like a specific preference. Like, well, obviously I like them when they're like more fit. Obviously, like
Yeah.
that's just a preference, you know.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
said, but I don't have like a specific hair type. I don't have a specific skin color. Like literally, if they're fit and you know they have a personality I can like
connect with.
connect
basically?
with,
Yeah.
I'm chilling.
All right. Damn, I kind of have mine like, but like for me,
Explain to us, Shaniqua. What is her name?
all right,
Like, what does she look like?
That's not her name.
Oh, damn
That's
it.
a pretty shitty name.
Okay.
I'll never date a girl named Shaniqua. No hate.
Tina?
No hate to anyone named Shaniqua.
Jessica? No, I'm just kidding. Fucking name. It
All right,
doesn't matter.
but, all right. So for me, before I get into my type, for me, I can get with anybody. Like I don't care about looks or whatever. I mean, obviously she's got to be decent looking. I can't date an ugly girl, marry an ugly girl. That's my preference. She's got to have a. I'm not gonna lie. I like petite girls, like smaller girls, but they gotta have some fucking meat on their ass. And then for me, blonde or like brown, brunette, black hair, blue eyes, gray eyes, decent body, and she's got to be shorter than me. And but also, all right, I'm not about to. All right, damn, I'm like,
Actually,
Yo,
can I
if
say
that girl's
something?
out there, by the way, comment in the comment
hit me
section.
I
up.
actually do
Hit
have
me
something
up.
now. I do like when they're taller than me. I'm in it for the long haul. I'm trying to tell kids.
that's facts.
Some D1 studs.
Yeah, but for me, she has to have her own goals, be ambitious, support my goals, and be understanding of our busy schedules and be able to like make time for each other. That's pretty much it.
That's facts. I think it's interesting because like the individual that I've been talking to as of recently, like I don't think she has like ambitions of like necessarily starting her own business and being like a self-proclaimed like success story, but she does find value in like, you know, having a nice home, having financial stability, having a car. And those are things that I never really thought about. Like for me, it was always like, yo, you have one goal in life, and that's to fucking make it big, bro.
Yeah.
But like to have that dichotomy there, it made me realize like there is value in those things though. Like you don't have to strive to be like the absolute best necessarily. There's something that's actually satisfying about like, I'm not going to call it complacency, like security, so to speak. Like that, I mean, that's a good thing, you know? Like the last thing you want is to like, you know, be on this success journey or whatever and like be broke your whole entire life or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I just had a topic that we could talk about and it kind of just slipped out.
I love how you said something. I don't even know if you know you said this, but you're like, I can get any girl I want.
I said that.
I know you didn't mean it that way, but I was like,
I mean,
but you're not wrong though.
yeah.
I was going to say, I do believe in like the law of attraction in the sense that like, you know, the more you work on yourself, the more you're going to attract those kinds of people around you too.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't really necessarily have like a type, so to speak. It's more just like keep working on myself. And I know that person is just going to gravitate to me as I keep working through my life. I don't know if anybody feels that at all, but
No, I agree.
yeah, it's facts. Big Willie's going to find some smoking hot girls on the road,
I'm
bro.
literally waiting until I find the exact thing I'm looking for. You know, and I don't know until it happens.
What age do you want to get married at?
I don't have a specific age. It's just
Do you?
like I don't want to get like pick an early date and then like
Yeah.
not find the right person.
Yeah.
You know?
Yo, honestly, this is so fucked up. I kind of want to have a kid. I think it'd be so
Bro, I
cute.
want to have a kid too.
Oh, I definitely do. I want to have multiple.
But like sooner than later.
I do too.
Like
I-
financially,
I'm
I
stopping
can't support a child right now, but I'd be like, yo, if I had a little one, like I have a friend, shout out Colin Service, by the way, but he's 21 and he has a child, and dude, he loves that kid to death, and that kid is fucking awesome. He sends me Snapchats of him.
Oh, is that that one video you showed
Yeah,
me?
yeah. He's like, say taint, and his kid goes taint. It's so funny. But like, yeah, I was like, yo, there's something to be said about that though. Like you're literally creating like a mini you, and it's so fucking cute.
I have some in like regards to that. Like I literally like think about that all the time, like having a kid, because I know for a fact that's next level motivation. Like if I had a kid on the way,
Yep.
I would be grinding my ass off for 9 months straight, no breaks, and I know that like I would find success through that. And then once I have a kid, I want to make a good enough living to provide for them and have a better life than I had.
Yeah.
And
I want to give you the other side of that story, because actually my parents had me when they were 20. Okay. So they were still in college. All right. And so, you know, my dad he literally had the same mindset of like, you know, I'm gonna make like I'm gonna fucking work my cock off so that I can like, you know, make a great family. And I actually was listening to this thing one time. It was like the number one occupation for females in terms of divorce rate is actually stay-at-home mom. Fun fact, by the way. And I don't know what the correlation is there at all. It was like this girl that literally does like filing divorces and stuff like that.
I'm not surprised, to be honest.
Yeah, and part of it is because like, you know, because a lot of times what ends up happening in those relationships. It's like, you know, the mom is spending all this time like taking care of the kids, and the father is like spending all this time like, you know, taking care of the financial side, and it's like you grow almost like a divide because of that. Like you're never like actually together as one unit. So, I mean, those are things that you got to think about. And also he talks about, you know, like cash wise, because I mean, you need finances to be able to really make it too. You need to be able to invest into your businesses and things like that. And when you have a child, your disposable income goes to, in essence, like nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, those are things to consider, but like, obviously, hey, we're all young. So let's make the right choices now, and, you know, just keep sticking to our grind.
Yeah. I feel like an old man, bro. Even though I'm about to turn 19 like a month and like 2 weeks, I feel like an old man.
Can you imagine being 23 years old?
No.
Yeah, I couldn't either. But here we are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, and I guarantee it'll be that way when you're 30, when you're 50, when you're 80, dude. Like it's gonna be the same. But hey, we won't know till we know it. For now, it's just enjoy the journey, enjoy the process.
Facts.
And take it one day at a time.
Take one DAAT, baby. Yo, do we have any other like pressing topics that we want to touch on? This has been a great podcast, by the way. I hope, hey, audience, if you made it this far, make sure you press the like button. And I hope you like how we mixed it up for this episode. I know we were doing the intro sequence separate from the actual video part instead of like the shameless plug. So hopefully you're going to enjoy that. But make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, check out the InspoCast website. Make sure you're checking out the Instagram. Make sure you're checking out Willie on social media, on TikTok. Make sure you go join his community. Make sure you go join Instagram. Sorry, I just had to give like some shameless plugs real quick. But
You're good.
yeah.
I'll definitely be back. I know that for a fact.
That's facts.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back.
Yo, so we got to ask, okay, you want to ask the final questions then? You want to do it?
Is there any other topics you guys
Yeah, you want to touch on anything?
Not that I can think of.
There's always something like I come up after we hop off and it's like, we'll just say
No, but hey, you can never get everything out at once. Like, unfortunately,
Yeah,
it's just how it works.
Yeah.
We'll always think of shit. But no, this has been a great podcast, honestly. And I know there was value in this too. Willie, you're a fucking stud, dude. Thank you for coming down here, dude. This is
I'm
insane.
so glad to be here.
Now we're going to start off with the final questions. Okay. Now the first one is going to be, I want to give you, and I know Eliaz wants to give you a platform today to be able to talk to your audience. Okay. Whoever that is, right? Whether it be TikTok, Instagram, you know, just people that resonate with your message in general, like, you know, wrap up this entirety of this podcast and give them one last long lasting message that represents like Willie.
What I'm about.
Yes.
Look, all right. Anybody out there, if you have ambition, if you want to be a better version of yourself, you seriously just have to go at it every single day, consistently, one day at a time. If you have setbacks, that's all right. That's all part of the process. It's a journey for a reason. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna have off days, and it is what it is. As long as you keep pushing forward, you will eventually make it. It's just a matter of time.
Dude, I literally couldn't have said it better.
Motivational.
Yeah, it is, dude. I swear, every time we ask that question, man, it's so awe-inspiring because, like, everybody, you know, it's always about motivation and inspiration and discipline and all the principles, but how you say it and what your message is, like, is just so inspiring because you live that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So thank you for that. My last question before he asked the last question is going to be, next podcast, okay? You know, if you were watching the next podcast, who would you want to hear on here?
On this podcast, let's
Yes,
see.
sir. It's not Arnold. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Honestly, let me think. I guess I gotta. Oh, you gotta reach out to this dude. He is the funniest. He's in fitness. He's actually like he's on his weight loss journey still. He's gonna be on a recount phase soon. But his name's Garrett, and I'll send you his ad. It's like Steven.gg, but I'm telling you, you would get a goated podcast out of him because he's such an entertaining individual. Every single time I see his post, I laugh, I smile. Like he's an inspiring person, and he's just like beginning his journey. So if you could get him on, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and we're here to tailor to our audience, so we're gonna reach out to Garrett here soon, and he's gonna be getting on the InspoCast here before you know it. But that's all the questions I have. I know you got one last one.
This is like the main last one.
It's the last
All right,
one.
give the viewers, the real viewers who stick all the way through the end, something to comment.
Comment in the comment section if they're a real one.
Look, yeah, that's actually like the great idea, right? If you stuck out for this whole podcast episode, all right, I need you to comment one thing, and it's fart. All right.
Not
See,
one dat.
He just blew one. He just blew one.
Yo, hashtag fart all lowercase in the comment section down below because this man just absolutely ripped ass. And if you're a real one, you know that's what you got to do. But shameless plugs one more time. Make sure you go check out Willie on all social media platforms. Check out his transformation stuff. Check out his mini series. Stay tuned with all of his content. I know you got something to say.
All of my accounts are the same. They're just 1DAATWilly. 1DAATWilly.
And make sure while you're watching the content to live the mindset one day at a time, baby. That's right. Also, make sure you're checking out InspoCast on Instagram, on TikTok. Make sure you're keeping up with the posts because that's how you're going to get the latest updates on what the episodes are, as well as the reels. There's going to be some great highlight clips from this episode, as well as the 3 other ones that we have from this weekend. We went hard AF. Well, we're halfway done now, which is kind of crazy. And make sure you're giving some love on these videos as well, too. Thank you guys so much for the support so far. Holy crap, dude. We've been watching the engagement on here, and it just keeps skyrocketing every single week. And literally, it just keeps motivating us to push better and better content and get, I don't want to say better and better guests, because I think, honestly, every guest that comes on here is great, but just like strive to get more guests on.
And I'm gonna push the content out that you give me to my social media platforms, so definitely it'll continue to grow there.
Fucking hero, dude. I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course.
Any last plugs? Make sure you check out Rocky Gains. What code are they using?
Code Eliaz, 10% off, ELIAZ.
I just used my wrist wraps today from Rocky Gains. They're actually fire. They have a little bit of grip on them too. The hats are sick AF. The drip sick AF. It's really good. Hopefully here in the future, we're actually going to be getting the Rocky Gains owner on the podcast. It's going to be kind of sick. Also,
no, you will.
Yeah, right. You're right. We already talked to him actually,
Yeah.
so we're gonna get him on, but it's just a matter of when. And make sure to stay up to date with all the content. Like I said, we have plans right now, goal wise. We have 2 more podcasts coming up the end of this weekend that will be airing throughout the week. Episode 20, I'm just going to give you guys like a little preview, is actually going to be a reiteration of Elias and I. We're going to be going back at it. We're going to be talking about kind of our experience in the past 3 months on the podcast, how the pros, the cons.
That's genius.
Dude, because I will tell you, we've talked a little bit about some of the stories, but behind the scenes stuff, bro, like the shit that we've had to deal with on this thing, man, like couldn't even explain in like 5 minutes. So like it's going to be a whole podcast worth of shit, but that's going to be a great conversation because I know episode 1 got so much love. But outside of that, we have some insane guests coming up in May. You guys better stay tuned and make sure you're giving some love to the website. But that's it. That is it for episode 15. Holy crap, we're 15 into this, baby. Thank y'all for tuning in. Anybody got any last words for us?
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to the Inspo Podcast.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be our intro verbiage right there. I'm gonna literally take that audio. I'm gonna put that at every one of our fucking videos. But thank you for tuning in to episode 15. That is gonna conclude this episode. Stay tuned for the next one.
Boom.
Peace.